Yes. Welcome every one of us. Thank you for coming to time.
Thank you, ma.
You're welcome, ma. So we'll just give another 2 minutes. I want us to start to time. So it's 1 minute more. So we'll just give 2 minutes for others to join. It's already 7:30. So once it's 7:31, we'll start. Let's just give a minute. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining promptly to time. You are here because you have indicated interest to participate in the 2026 OAU Research Fair. So this evening, we have invited the director of IPTTO, that's Intellectual Property Office, okay, to come and speak to us on how to protect our innovations. Okay, we are going to be exhibiting our innovations, and there are things that we should and should not do. So she's going to speak to us this evening and put us through and train us on how we can, exhibit our innovations without giving out too much or without leaving room for someone to, maybe steal our ideas or, hinder our process of um, of getting patents and things like that. So welcome with me this evening, Professor Grace Ogundusi. She's the director of IPTTO, the Intellectual Property Office, and she'll be taking us through the seminar this evening. So I'll hand over to her without wasting much time. Thank you, Professor Ogundusi. Please, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A very good evening, everyone. I want to sincerely appreciate Professor Sapere, who is the chairperson for the research fair. I must confess that you are doing a very great work, ma, and we really appreciate you. I'm particularly happy that we have, I can see 20-something people already participating in today's what we can call preparatory meeting for the research fair. So without wasting time, I'm going to be sharing my slide with you so that we can just go straight to business. So for me, it's always good that we have this kind of a meeting, and I'm happy that it's coming up again because there are a number of things that we'll have the opportunity to learn tonight as we look at this meeting together. But may I ask, ma, how much time do I have, please? How much time do I have? Apart from questions, how much time?
You have an hour.
For the talk?
45 minutes, about 45 minutes we want to wrap up everything 1 hour, 15 minutes. So maybe like 15 minutes, you can have 15 minutes so that we can then have questions and answers.
Okay, thank you very much, ma. That's very good. I don't even think I would take that much time. So today we'll be talking about protecting your innovation, intellectual property rights for researchers. I'm sure that on this call today, we have our students who have indicated interest to showcase their research outputs. We also have our staff members. I've been trying to stop the notification on my laptop, but I don't know what is going on. I'm unable to stop the notification for WhatsApp. My WhatsApp is what is disturbing us. I don't know. So, but please just ignore the sound if it comes on. And if I'm still able to remove the notification, I'll do that. But please bear with me. So, we're going to be talking about protecting your innovation, intellectual property rights for researchers. And for us, we need to bear in mind that the theme for this research fair is very apt. We are looking at transformational research, advancing innovation, enterprise, and global relevance. So a number of people on our campus do research from time to time, but still we discover that the knowledge of intellectual property is still very low. Not many people are very knowledgeable about intellectual property. So I'm going to take a little time to explain that to us so that we all can value our research outputs. Because I discovered that people come to do exhibition for different reasons. Some, they think that, oh, when they come to do exhibition, they are going to be meeting with industry partners who can uptake their research. Some think that when they do exhibition, people will see what they are doing, and maybe it will also give them some recognition. Yes, good reasons altogether. Some think when they do exhibition, it's also to give them a feeling of achievement, and so many reasons like that. As researchers, we need to know much more about intellectual property than any other category of people, because we are the people who think deeply. We are the people who are always thinking of solving a problem. We are the people who spend our time and energy to develop solutions, whether they are from the laboratory or using some techniques, or from fabrication to mixing chemicals and all of that. So intellectual property is actually the creation of mind, human mind. Okay, so when we talk about intellectual property, a number of people think, oh, what do we mean by that? Just imagine, relate with the word property, what you hold. Intellectual, that is what is from your own brain. So you have to know that the creation of your mind that has commercial, scientific, artistic, or technological value is your intellectual property. And this can include inventions that are new. Maybe you are trying to do something and you know that, yes, nobody else has done this. You have searched, you have Googled, you have done everything. And even people are telling you that, no, this work is novel. Nobody else has done anything like that, especially that you are solving a problem. So research findings, and you see, sometimes we roll out data, we roll out information from our research. These are also things that we have taken time to create from our human mind. Software, databases, new plant varieties, industrial designs, educational materials, creative work, even to some kind of pattern creation and dance steps. There are so many things that we can actually say that they are original to us. We have thought through the idea and we've been able to use them to impact on human life, so we can see the impact. So anything that is original to you, that is a creation of your mind, is your intellectual property. However, it doesn't end there, because it has to be protected legally. So you have to protect it legally and make sure that you are the only one that has exclusive right to it. So when you have done all your work now and we are saying, oh, come and showcase your work, the question you should ask yourself is that, is it just that I can claim intellectual property or that I have intellectual property rights? So the right is what to obtain legally to protect your exclusive ownership of that creation. So as the owner, that confers exclusive rights to you. And it's also expected that your intellectual property is legally safeguarded to prevent unauthorized use or duplication. So protecting your IP means that you are going to obtain an IP right, and it has a lot of benefits. And particularly, we need to all know as researchers that even when you are doing that your work, when you think you own it, you should also ask yourself if you are infringing on the intellectual property rights of another person, because infringing on intellectual property rights can lead to severe legal consequences, including fines and imprisonment, making it crucial for businesses to ensure their products and ideas are original and appropriately licensed. So before you come around and say, oh, I want to showcase what I have done, the question is, are you the original owner, or you want to protect it, or you want to go and do business with it because you find out that it has value? You are also not expected to be infringing on the intellectual property rights of another person because of the severe consequences that that can have legally. And as a matter of fact, it is said that many IP rights owners, they make a lot of money from litigation cases than they make from business with their intellectual property rights. So it is that serious. So when you are coming out to lay claims on certain things, when you are approaching IPTTO to say, I want to protect something, you should ask yourself, am I really the original creator of this? Or I saw somebody who has done it and I'm doing it? Because that will be an infringement, especially if that person has obtained intellectual property rights. So the person has legally protected that idea. So in essence, what we are saying is that you as a researcher, you need to know about intellectual property so that you can have exclusive rights to your intellectual property, but you must also not be infringing on another person's intellectual property for the good of everyone. So why so much talk about intellectual property? Why does it matter so much? We need to understand that every stage of transformational research runs through IP. So there is really no transformational research that does not have the IP component or the IP element of it at every stage of its existence. So when you are doing transformational research, you always need to think IP. You need to think about your inventiveness that is coming in. So the first thing to consider is innovation. So when you have your research findings, bringing in a solution that has not been profiled by anyone, it becomes recognized and you can own it. It's not just that you publish it. So for IP, in any transformational research, innovation is at the center of it. What are you doing different from what others have done to add value? So when you are adding value to whatever anybody else has done, it's also an innovation. And when you create something that can go to the market and become commercializable, that is an innovation. And that means that there is an intellectual property right that is embedded in it. So it gives your research findings recognition, it makes it commercializable, and you cannot just do that without having put in a lot of intellectual efforts and preparation. So it's not just about publications, it's about owning your assets. So that is why IP is very important in translational research. And of course, the second leg of it is the enterprise. because with IP, you have the legal foundation for licensing ideas, having startup, building industry partnership. So a number of people, when they have their innovation, they may decide that, oh, I don't want to do business with it. But the truth is that whether they are doing business with it or not, the potential that is in that innovation can lead to a business enterprise. So there is that legal foundation for you to license it out to somebody else if you have protected it. So IP gives you that legal foundation. And if you want to do a business with it, you want to start a company of your own, that is a startup, then without the IP, there's really nothing you are doing. It's just going to look like you're not going to say you are running you are not an entrepreneur. Unfortunately, the way people use the word entrepreneurship today, it looks like when you are selling and buying, that is entrepreneurship. No, that is not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship runs on IP. It runs on consistently creating solutions and bringing it to make impacts and to add value to the society, and then you get a stream of income in return. So that is what entrepreneurship is all about. So there is no entrepreneurship without the intellectual property as its legal foundation. So you own whatever you create, and then that becomes what you can live on. That becomes what you can use to employ others, to engage the community, and to make impact. So having said that, the third leg is the global relevance. Because when we talk about global relevance, we are saying that your protected innovation can be filed, can be licensed, can be commercialized at the global level. So some of us, when we are doing some research, yes, why we encourage people to do research that can give solution to local problem, we also encourage them to think globally. So look beyond your immediate environment sometimes and see a global problem that you can solve. See a problem that is generational, for instance, a problem that when you solve it, it's going to affect a lot of people beyond your own territory. So at international level, you can file for protection, you can license the IP, you can commercialize it. So the important thing to know is that when you have an unprotected innovation, you can lose a lot of opportunity. And that opportunity, when you lose it as a researcher or a student from OAU, you are not the only one losing it. OAU is also losing out, because one of the things that is now being considered in our ranking is also innovation. It's about our visibility in terms of global visibility. And you cannot have an invention that is globally making impact and it will not be credited to you or credited to the university. So there is need to understand that you must protect your innovation. Excuse me, I wish I can just stop this distraction. Let me see if I can try again and get the notification off. Just a minute, please.
Don't worry, Prof. It's minimal.
Okay. Okay, I was even, can you hear me now? Are you hearing me?
We are hearing you clearly.
Can you hear me,
I can
please?
hear you clearly. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, it looked like when I turned off the volume, you didn't hear me. So let's continue to bear with me, please. So let's talk about the main types of intellectual property, because as you come for your exhibition next week, I foresee that there may be some of these things that we will get to meet at our various cubicles. You can have an invention that can become a patent if you have not protected it. So I'm talking now to make you understand that, oh, there are some of these things you are doing that you are not looking at the global importance of them. You are not looking at the value that you are creating, and you are not looking at the commercial value as well. But now you have to begin to think like that. So when you get back to prepare for your for your exhibition next week now, you need to go between now and next week, ask yourself, what do I really understand the value of this thing that I'm doing, that I want to go and present? Do I understand the people that can benefit from it? When people get past the level of protecting their IP, there are also other things we talk about in terms of business arm of their innovation, especially understanding the valuation, how you can do the valuation of your research output. So while you are thinking about whatever you are going to present next week, think about the possibility that you can have a patent if you have not protected it. Because when you don't know the worth of anything, then you can as well lose it. So there is what we call patents, which is a type of intellectual property rights. And patents you can have for new invention, something that nobody else has done before. Maybe you develop a robot that can lift disabled people from their wheelchair and clean them up and place them back, for instance. that must be, to some extent, new, but you need to do your search and be sure that, oh, nobody else has done that, because I know that that can be something that many people will need in the hospital. So this robot can lift up somebody from, in fact, somebody developed a product, I think at the teaching hospital, that can help the medics to weigh those who are using wheelchair, those who are bedridden or using wheelchair, because there are some medications that require that you know the weight of somebody before you prescribe them, to know the dose to prepare and all of that. And there are times that they just need to know the weight of that person. And it was a very beautiful thing to behold. I can't remember whether it was here that I saw it or at the Innovate Hub in Abuja that the thing was displayed. So when you have an innovation that you are presenting, think about it. Is it completely new? And when we talk about patents can mean certain processes that maybe different from what others have done before. Yes, you may still get the same or similar results, but your own process is perhaps far cheaper or more efficient, or your own process is a green method, maybe for those of us who do science research, or people have done this now. You know, everybody is thinking about preserving the planet. Everybody is thinking about our health, SDG goals, considering everybody's well-being, our health and other things. So if you have a process that can eliminate some dangerous substances and it has never been done before, that can be something you can patent. Or a device, a machine, a tool that is actually bringing significant value. And when we talk about all of these things, there must be things that can go to the market. So it's not an innovation if it does not have commercial value. If you present it and nobody wants to buy it, for example, if somebody says, I now have I've designed a flask that can keep hot water for 24 hours. The truth is that we have so many of such things in the market. So what new thing is it that you are bringing on board? What new thing is making it to add value? So we need to think about all of those things before we think about patents. So patents can cover processes, can cover devices, can cover methods that provide technical solutions. So mark the word technical solutions. So begin to think about what you want to showcase. If you have gone past the stage of examining it to say, oh, this thing actually has value. So what can I use to protect it? It can be a patent right that we get. What about copyrights? Copyright is another very important type of intellectual property right, because it covers original written works, it covers software code, it also covers creative or scholarly outputs, those who write books, those who develop apps that use software codes, all these things can be covered by copyright. The details of the length of each of these, I can quickly mention. For a patent, if you have a patent, you can have it for up to 20 years. That means for the length of time given, you are the only one that has the rights. You can sell it to any company. You can decide to produce the product yourself and sell it. You can employ people to work with you. You can partner with any industry. You can do a lot of things, and you are the sole owner of it. When it's about copyright, excuse me, copyright is for a period of I think 50 years. So that also is very useful. Those who are very good with writing books, writing codes, developing apps, creating websites, and so on, they can have that protection. Then trademarks. Trademarks cover names, logos, marks that identify a particular product, service, or spin-off. Then we have what we call trade secrets. I remember last year, one of our one of the research teams presented something around Zobo, and I was so curious about it. Zobo, we know what about this thing, but Professor Mizari was careful not to tell me the secrets about it. So such things can be trade secrets. For trade secrets, you don't need to file for protection, but the first three that I shared about patents, copyright, trademarks, you have to file, make an application that you have something and you want to protect it. But for trademark, you don't, I mean, trade secrets, you don't need to tell anybody. You just know that it's a confidential know-how. For example, that Zobo case that I discovered, when I tested it, I knew there was something peculiar about it, but I couldn't say whether it was what was added, maybe certain things, certain proportions or whatever. It was completely different from what I always, oh my goodness, I've always known. So distinctive product designs too can be covered by design rights. So these are things that are very common, and I know that as you come next week, you are likely going to have some of your products or research outputs having this kind of category. So having said that, I need to emphasize that for patents, you can, while you are protecting your invention, there are some things that are expected. So after you have looked at what you want to present now, you need to ask yourself, can I get a protection for this? If it's a patent, you need to look at the novelty. That is what is new about it, not something that is already previously disclosed anywhere else in the world, including your own papers and conference talks that you have not been talking about it. So you see why this is very important. So if you have the mind of protecting with patents, what you have done in the lab, what you have labored to do in the wherever, whether you are in the field of technology, science, medicals, whatever it is, you need to begin to think about the novelty and that you are not speaking about it already. Because once you speak about it, you have started diverging the details, then you can no longer claim that it's completely new because others have heard about it. So for you to obtain patent, there's also a second condition. It is also that it must have an inventive step. That means that the inventive step must not be obvious. We call it a non-obvious inventive step. So anybody who is skilled in that field, for example, if you are telling people that you are designing a machine that can dry certain substance, they must be able to look at it, and even though they are also engineers, they should not be able to say quickly that, oh, we know what you did now. So it must be that there is an inventive step, that is, there is a step that shows clearly that it's not something that you have not invested into intellectually to come up with it. So that inventive step is very important, that it is not an obvious step. It is not an obvious step. So it must be that there are certain things that only you knows how to do. That other engineer who is even looking at your work, who is also in your field, cannot just look at it and by mere inspection and in few minutes or hours, we'll be able to say, oh, this was how you did it. So the non-obvious inventive step is very crucial. Then, if you want to apply for patents, you also need to know that it must be industrially applicable. So that means it must be something that can be used in some kind of industry, any industry you can name it. So it's critical that you know that publishing or presenting your work before filing can destroy the novelty and your right to patent it. And that is why this talk is very crucial as we go on to prepare for the exhibition. So let me talk about the common mistakes that can cost people their research, their IP rights, specifically IP rights. So some of us are coming to do exhibition. It's not just the exhibition, we have also gone to publish the work. We've gone to make presentations at conferences. We've gone to do different things with our results because we are excited. We even talked about it at our departments. We've disclosed so much about it in our seminars. Then this is a big mistake because publishing result, posting a thesis online, or presenting at conference before filing a patent can actually make you to lose your IP. There are many IP lawsuits that show clearly that while people are busy gallivanting, celebrating their success, and they're talking so much about it, some other people are quietly observing them and seeing how they can quickly reproduce that thing and then protect it. And you see in the word of IP protection, is the person that files first that we win in any case, if any case comes up. So there are other things that can be used. I will also tell us that because we need to know as researchers and as people who are looking forward to making impacts in the world. So publishing your results, you know, we tell people at IPTTO that you can patent your work and still publish it, but you must get the order very correctly. The order is that you patent before you publish, not that you publish before you patent. So that's why we talk about patenting, publishing, and prospering, 3 Ps. That is how to prosper. So if you protect it first, before you go out and make all the noise about it and then let other people know so much about your work that they can quickly go to your paper. In fact, some of us, when we write publications, we write a publication like we want them to go back to the lab and go and confirm that your results are correct. Everything is reviewed. Nothing is hidden. And that's what the Chinese are doing. They study all our works. There was a time it happened in pharmacy that a group of I think Chinese, they came to come and meet a professor. I think maybe that person was not yet a professor, but an academic person, a researcher, because they had read his work. And the person gladly told them everything about the work. And it looked like those guys were coming back to ensure that they had a partnership, for where they did not come back because they got everything they needed. They first read the paper. They knew that, there's so much about this work. There's so much value. There's so much commercial potential in this work. There's so much that can be done to use it to solve world problems and also to make some financial benefits. So they came down and interacted with the researcher and they got what they wanted and they left. And that was the end of it. Of course, the next thing you see is that there is a product in the market and then the researcher will remember, oh, I actually worked on this particular plant, and that will be a loss for the researcher. So you can patent before you publish. So when you are excited about your thesis, don't go there. You know, in thesis, we disclose so much. Some of us have converted our thesis to online materials that anybody can access. And at the end of the day, we lose our IP rights. You cannot publish your thesis online and then come later to say you want to you want to protect it with copyright. Although there is copyright that covers anything that originates from you ab initio. Once you are writing it, you are putting your thoughts down, you're putting a book together, it's covered by copyright. But there is a higher layer, a stronger layer to that. If you file for copyright protection, then you can have the exclusive rights. Because if you don't file for copyright protection and somebody copies your work, you just claim that you are the owner. Yes, all the notes that you used to start jotting and all of that will be there. But you cannot say that you have the legal rights as such. And if there's a lawsuit, any form of litigation, you cannot argue it and win. But if you have a record with the government agency that you are the owner of this, then if anybody uses it unlawfully, that person can be sued. So that's, we must know as people publish. And then number two common mistake that cause researchers their IP is discussing an invention in detail with external partners without a non-disclosure agreement. There's what we call non-disclosure agreements. So for example, some of us, we do our project presentation at the departmental level or faculty level, and people will clap for us. Some people will even say, oh, I have one friend, you will be interested in this. You may be able to partner with that person. Very good. But the question is, did you sign a non-disclosure agreement with that person? Because once that person comes so close enough, or that team or that company, and you are telling them everything about your research without a non-disclosure agreement, then they are also free to say it anywhere. They are free to use it anyhow. They are free to use that information anyhow. So you have to bear that in mind. Number three mistake is assuming an idea isn't patentable without consulting IPTT. So this is very crucial for everyone. Don't just undervalue your work. Don't just tell yourself, oh, because we are all used to publishing, we are all used to dumping our results after graduation, especially our undergraduate students. They cannot even push anything with their supervisor to protect it, but you can, because you have invested your time, your life, you have taken risk to do that work. So don't assume it is not patentable until you come to IPTT and we examine it with you. We look at the process with you. We also assist you to consider the prior art search, ask you if you have searched, anything similar has been done. And once you are guided, you may just find out that it's patentable. I think of recent, there was somebody who came from one of our departments in physical sciences with an invention. And at first, when he presented it, I looked at it and I was like, you are not convincing me that we can patent this. Because the way he was talking about it, he wasn't talking about it like there was any value in it. I now asked to ask him questions. So what is peculiar? I mean, it must have been that while he was doing his PhD, he has a supervisor anyway from physics and another supervisor from chemistry. They must have seen some things that this PhD man was not seeing, and they referred him to IPTT. So when I asked him questions, I dug very much into the work he did. Interestingly, because I'm also in chemistry, I could understand some of the things he was talking about, but I was not convinced that the work was patentable. But after much discussion, I said, now you are talking. That work is patentable, but you have to make the pack, you have to present it in a more concise and convincing way. Provide your result, provide your spectra, provide all of this. Ask, check around, because how much can this thing worth in the global markets if we have to push it for patent filing? Will anybody be ready to buy it? And we began to talk about it and say, yes, something similar is happening with vitamin C. When vitamin C, I said, now you are talking. And that was how we were able to put that together, because on his own, he did not consider it patentable, but the supervisors were pushing it. The supervisor from physics, the co-supervisor from chemistry, they pushed him to us. And by the time he came, we were able to help him to see what value that research output can give in the commercial market. And that was what we did. So don't dump your idea and say, or your project, after all your investments into it in time and money, when you have people who are talking to you and say, but you can protect this thing. Listen to them and see what you can do. So the other thing is delaying disclosure until after graduation. Very, very common. So it's a big mistake if you tell yourself that, when I graduate, then I'll protect it. When I relocate, when I get to an environment where I don't have to be the one to pay for the patent filing. Some of us have that problem. Just tell ourselves, I don't want to spend money. When I get these grants, then I will use the money to do, it doesn't cost much to do patent rights protection in Nigeria for our territorial considerations. But if you want to do something global, yes, it costs thousands of dollars. But the ones we do within the country, because we also know that IP is territorial, but it's far better than doing nothing and delaying the disclosure. The disclosure is what you do with the patent office, because we have to tell them everything about it and then get the filing. So when you are doing the delay and you are waiting till an appointed time that may never come, you can lose the key details. In fact, you can get distracted. Other things can come up and then you are no longer having the steam to get something out of it. So the last one that I will discuss concerns us in a very great deal. So when you get to your stand and you are making presentation, you have to be mindful of the answers you give to those who come to your cubicle, because discussing technical details of your work can make you to lose your IP. So you must understand that there is the technicality parts of the work. There is also the functionality. For example, somebody has developed a machine, and that machine is doing something that everybody is wondering, how is he doing this? Yes, they are bound to ask questions because they have come to your table, they have come to your stand or your cubicle. But it is you who will use your discretion to limit what you describe to functionality. You see this machine, it can take blood sample without using needle, for example. And when it takes that blood sample, you don't feel any pain. You don't have to tell them whether you have programmed, you have used certain codes, you have done so many details that somebody else can listen to carefully and say, I think I can quickly reproduce this. So focus on discussing the functionality more. They are bound to ask questions. Like I told you, the story of the Chinese who came to our faculty of pharmacy, and they got what they needed and they disappeared. So people will come to your table, people will ask you questions. They want to know everything, like everything. Don't try to impress anybody by giving out what should be the secret. Yes, that's the word, the secret of the machine or the process or the method or whatever it is that you are bringing, okay, to exhibit. Yes, people must it must be interesting to them for them to be asking questions, but you have to be smart, you have to be wise to talk about the performance level, to talk about the functionalities, to talk about certain things that you can achieve with it, rather than telling them what you have coupled, how you have coupled them, and measurements and details. No, you don't need all of those things. They are your own secrets. They are what makes it a non-obvious invention that you have done. So be mindful of how you answer people without being rude to them. You are the one who knows how much you have to say, and that is very, very crucial. I'm going to emphasize more on this because though I have said all these other things earlier, but when you are, even now that you want to go and do exhibition, it's fine that if you can submit your application for IP rights, whether it's for copyrights, if you have apps, you have codes, you have website, and all of those things, if you can process your application for IP protection within 6 months after your first disclosure, you are still going to be covered in Nigeria. That is the law. If you have disclosed it anywhere else before now, well, that is for you to think about. But if it is coming for exhibition, then you can still apply. If you can get your patent, you can get your patent certificate, get it, whatever it is that you are protecting, whether it's copyright or it's trademark. Those of you come up with logos, you come up with brand labels and all that. If you can protect it within 6 months after your first disclosure of it anywhere, then in Nigeria, you are still going to be granted the rights. But once it's more than 6 months, you cannot expect that it will be granted. So when you are ready to protect your innovation, if you have not done so, or this is just the general process for protecting your innovation, there is what we call the innovation disclosure form process. The first thing is that you are going to disclose to us at IPTTO. We'll give you the form to fill. You will describe your invention, not in details like that, in the form. You will tell us the markets that can be ready to buy it. You tell us whether it's a process, whether it's a product, whether it's a design. You will tell us if you have disclosed it anywhere else. You will tell us the industry that can uptake it, and so on and so forth. Then we will look at it, we will assess it, do a thorough review, see if you have an inventive step, really. Then we will ask you to submit the full application. In the full application, you're going to give us the breakdown. That is why it's called invention disclosure. You're not going to hide anything, because those things will be examined to see if it is actually something that can be protected when we take it to the National Patent Office in Abuja. So we at IPTTO, we serve as the go-go between researchers and the researchers and the patent office. So over there, after we have done our scrutiny, we have looked at the commercial potential, then we send it for protection. We also have to keep working with those people to ensure that they are able to see what we have seen, and then they do their own examination too, and they can grant the protection. And after that, you can transfer your technology through licensing. That is when you can begin to look at what you can do with your patent right to generate revenue for you, to let it work for you. So let's look at from lab to market, enterprise and global reach. If you are doing anything now, don't despise it. Even if you do this exhibition, it may give you an opportunity to go back and think again and say, how do I need to refine this idea? What can I add? Because as you do the exhibition, some people will look at you and say, oh, your idea is good, but we were thinking you will do it this way. I mean, what about the cost? For example, people come up with, when I was on the TEDFund training for about 2 weeks, I'm sure Professor Sapere also did that. We were taught that you have to look at how many people can buy it. Is it affordable? So maybe you also need to ask yourself what you are doing now. After listening to this lecture, what I'm doing now, do I need to go back to the drawing board and fine-tune it and give it value, so much value that it can make the desired impact and you yourself can commercialize it and be happy with it? So you need to sit back and refine it again and again and understand that you can make a lot from it. And what you can make first is licensing. If you don't want to do anything about business, you can license to industries, to companies that can take it up. And what they will do is to give you your own share. We call it royalty. You can have different kind of agreements. Maybe you have milestone royalty, whereby you say, oh, when you sell 1,000 of my products, then I'll collect this percentage. Or when you sell, every time you sell, I get this percentage of the profits. Maybe it's 2%, maybe it's 10%. Because some of us may have the challenge of using our personal money to develop our products or research output to that final stage where it can go to the market, to make it market ready, because this goes through different technology readiness levels. So, but when you are able to make sure that you are thinking as a business person, what can I make with this, my idea? If I've been applauded in my department, oh, my supervisor is so much interested, I'm doing this exhibition, everybody is happy with what I've done, what can I do with it? So post-exhibition, you should think about licensing. You should think about spin-off and partnership. You yourself should begin to ginger yourself and say, look, I don't have to wait and let this thing expire in my hand. Which company can support my idea, this prototype? Maybe you have a prototype, which company can supply what you need? And in IPTTO, let me tell you that we have been able to assist many researchers to, yes, some we have been able to assist to scale their idea, to scale their products. Some we have been able to support to build prototypes. Some we have been able to support to also increase the level of technology readiness of their innovation. And let me tell you, it's not as if we have direct money with which we do that, but through some organizations, some funders who tell us the kind of thing they are ready to support. Through this exhibition too, if you identify that you have a product that can fit into some of these opportunities, please don't hesitate and don't hold back, because the problem with a number of our researchers is that they just look at it that one day I will do something with it. I will do something with this product, and they never did anything with it. So if you have a company that is ready to support you and improve on the products, and they are ready to partner, be open. Don't hold back and say, no, I will build the business with myself. Many of us are not wired to do business, and that is the truth. But if you see companies that come around and they say, oh, we want to partner with you, we are doing something with a group now for some of our researchers in Elect. When they came to me and told me these people are showing interest, I told them what to do. Sign a non-disclosure agreement as you are discussing your work. And they are looking at what they can do to ensure that the product is market ready. So it gives you opportunity for spin-off. And if you are not ready for spin-off, you can do partnership so that they supply the money, they do the marketing, they do the business, and you have your own share. It's not like licensing. Licensing is maybe you are giving them the opportunity to use that's your product for a number of years, and you can license to more than one company. But in partnership, you are like a share, you are like they are investing into that business for you, and you have a formula with which you run through it together and get what should be yours, like a joint venture. And then spin-off means that you are standing on your own. You are building a company around it. Like, let's say somebody has discovered a cheap way of producing wine, high quality wine. Maybe the shelf life is longer than all the ones we have ever known in Nigeria or in the world. Or even if it is something that the shelf life of that wine can stay so long in Nigeria that our temperature, our handling condition, whatever it is, does not affect it, can be a plus. And it's even cheaper than the ones we import that can offer similar products. I'm sure some companies will be ready to pick it up and partner with you. But then, if you want to start that company yourself, that is going to mean a spin-off. But if you want to work with another company, maybe those that have been producing some wine before, and then they already have the market, they have the brand name, you don't have to put all your money into starting a business. That is a good form of partnership. However, you can also have what we call international filing, where we can have solid Nigerian filing support for supports foreign patent application, which can open up global market. This also is similar to what I said we are doing with, a group is doing with some researchers in Elect, because they are ready to even support for international filing because they've seen value in that product. That, oh, this thing we sell outside Nigeria, people all over the world will benefit, and protecting it at that global level, we open up the global market for them, and that is what they are considering doing together. So you have to bear in mind that this is what global relevance looks like in practice, and OAU research reaching market beyond Nigeria is our priority. We are not just meant to do research that hangs on the table or the shelf or within Nigeria. We are also to make global impact. So before you publish or present, you have to do a quick checklist. Number one, you have to ask yourself, have I disclosed my invention to IPTTO via the invention disclosure form? Have you talked to IPTTO? If you have the intention of protecting it, this is still the time to talk to us. You can talk to us between now and Wednesday. Then you should ask yourself, have I avoided discussing the full technical details publicly before filing and before your exhibition too? So, because that exhibition is very much before us, and if you have been discussing the technical details before, it is time to stop, and it is time to begin to think about how you manage information, which I have already told you that you should focus on discussing the functionality, and bearing in mind that it's not everybody that is listening or asking questions that is not intelligent enough to see how they can reproduce what you have done. So if you have people you are trying to collaborate with, ask yourself, have you had an NDA in place, that is non-disclosure agreement? If you have not, this is the time to begin to technically bring it in and say, oh, we have been discussing about how you can help us scale this invention, produce thousands or millions of units and all of that. But we never discussed the protection in terms of non-disclosure agreement. So we need to make sure we do that. So before you meet any company and you start telling them, when they come for exhibition and they say, oh, this is our card, reach out to us, fine, good. Start a good rapport, but I advise you to also carry IPTTO along, because we can guide you as to how to introduce the NDA form and ensure that after everything, it's going to be a win-win situation for you as a researcher and for the external collaborator. Not just that you will tell them everything and then maybe for some reasons you terminate the collaboration and you have given out every information without an agreement. See, the benefit of giving out them the non-disclosure agreement form to fill is that they are not going to say that you cannot sue them if your invention gets out, because you shared it with them, and if anything happened in the future and it's traceable to them, they are going to be liable. So ask yourself, have I checked whether my results include a potentially patentable innovation? Take your time before now and Wednesday and see what is patentable, and also see how you begin to take steps to protect it. So do I know who at IPTTO to contact with questions? Yes, interestingly, you are meeting me here today, and there's more to tell you about IPTTO. We can protect what you discover. So together, let's protect what OAU discovers. While you work in OAU, while you study, while you do your research, whatever you discover can be protected and can make you prosperous, very prosperous, beyond salaries, beyond stipends, beyond whatever thing you think you have now. So the Intellectual Property Office is for you to know. So you need to talk to us before you go too far into reaching agreements with any industry partners that you meet, or even before you continue to talk about your work freely. So you can send us an email using the OAU IPTTO email address. You can reach out to us at the IFS building of Obafemi Awolowo University. That's if you pass through the banking area to Gender, then you enter a small compound where IFEX is located, and you can also visit our website. That is iptto@oauife.ng. So I want to thank you for listening. I think it's a time well spent. I'm open to our questions now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. That was a very detailed seminar. Please just appreciate our speaker. You can use your reactions to appreciate our speaker. Let's appreciate our speaker. Thank you, everyone that has stayed through from the beginning till now. We appreciate you. So are there questions? You can raise your hand. And if you want to, you can also raise your hand. Okay, Professor Aregbesola, you have a question. Can you please unmute? Okay, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that detailed presentation. I believe we've all learned one or more things from how you helped us to see intellectual property rights in another dimension. I just had a little concern when you spoke about thesis, and I wanted to ask that, is the IPPTO national office looking into this? Because I know that now, before students go for service year, they are asked to upload their entire thesis to a certain place, and it's a prerequisite before they are posted. How does that infringe on what we've been discussing? And I'm just a bit concerned, because I wonder how safe releasing so much information like that is. So that's my concern and question.
Okay. Okay, can I answer now, or I should take
let's just take the second question so that you answer both together. Somebody, okay. Is it Mr. Jason Tony Olushesi? Can you please unmute and ask your question quickly?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the enlightenment tonight. My question is that for the research fair that is coming up, will we be presenting with a PowerPoint slide, or there's a stand where the presenters get to place their banners? I'm not quite sure about that modality. That's what I'm asking. Thank you.
Okay, let me answer that question. All that will be discussed on the platform. It depends on whatever it is that you are bringing to the research fair. If it's something that you need the banner to present, it's something that you have to put physical something. We'll talk about that on the platform. So, Professor Bulusi, please can you answer the question?
Okay, thank you, Ma. Okay, Prof. Ma, your concern is genuine and it's well appreciated, and some of us have expressed our concern about some of the policies being rolled out by the Ministry of Education. Some of them, they clearly show that some of our policymakers, they really don't know many things, without any apology. So we have all kinds of issues that we have had to raise again and again. But then for some of us who may not have the right platform to raise these issues with them, we just need to know what to do on our own. So this is what I would say. Yes, if they say students should upload their thesis before they can be posted for NYSC, it is left for the researcher to ensure that they file for patent as soon as possible. Although I understand that some of this undergraduate research may not end with one set of students. Okay, these ones have started the work, you are trying to improve it to get another set of students to build on what others have started. But we must be careful on our own to know how much detail our students are putting into such thesis that they are uploading. Yes, we may say, oh, maybe the website is protected, data is safe on that website, but who knows who can hack the websites? Because some people will also get the information that, oh, these people are uploading their intellectual property into a particular website, and anything can happen to that website. It can be hacked, and the people that you are even uploading the information to, you don't know, in a corruption driven system that we are in, you don't know what they will do with it. So it is left for us. I can only say what we can do on our own is to ensure that we don't delay filing for patents, we don't delay protecting our IP. That is just the only one that I can say, that as soon as we see that, oh, this thing has potential, we should also determine, especially as supervisor, how much we allow our students to put in there in whatever they are submitting. That's just what is with us. So
Thank you.
just hope that somehow, someday, our leaders will get it right.
Amen. Thank you so much, Prof. That's just the thing. We need to protect ourselves. Okay, so I see 3 hands up, but only one is named. I won't call the other. So please rename yourself on the platform. Put your proper name. Okay, otherwise, I don't know if I want to be calling what I'm saying here. So let me call Mr. Power Omolere and to ask his question now. The other 2 people that are raising their hands, please put your proper names so that we can call you. Thank you. Mr. Power Omolere, on mute.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you, Prof, for hearing. It was wonderful, man. Very quickly, I am a former student of the Obafemi Awolowo University. Graduated in 2017, and I have stayed in Abuja since. But my work is like a ecosystem. It's software, it's books, it's documentaries, research, figures, is nationwide database and dashboards. And when I went to the intellectual property office here, and I'm supposed to do trademark, do IPO, do WIPO, do international, I'm like, how many of these things do I have to do just to protect an idea? Consequentially, my work has already been presented. I'm supposed to present in Kentucky August 11 again. So it's not something even before I even did anything on IP, on intellectual property. I also have a nationwide assessment from the Nigerian Education Research and Development Council here in Abuja to service 35 million students in Nigeria. And I've not done anything on copyright whatsoever, because there's so many things to pay for at the same time. So I don't know if there is any way to pay about it. It's a whole lot of money. It's a whole lot. Thank you.
Should I respond, or do you want to take?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Sorry.
Let me quickly respond to what. Sorry, the name again.
Mr. God's Power.
God's power, please. Let me tell you something about. I don't know the year you went to IPTTO. What year did you go to IPTTO to make inquiry? I don't know the year. You finished about 5 years ago, but I can tell you that we don't ask you to do all of those things you just listed. Nobody will ask you to do all of that. Maybe the communication wasn't so clear to you. You are just going to do what your intellectual property fits best. If you are going to do copyright, because if you have developed apps and websites, it's copyright. If you develop a logo, you develop certain trademarks, then that's a branding thing. Maybe you were thinking about too many things at the same time, and then they rolled out everything to you. So it doesn't cost much to do copyright. As of today, I think copyright is just around 150,000. If you want to do WIPO registration, that means you are thinking at a global level that you are going to sell your product. Yes, that's an international thing. The price is in thousands of dollars, but there are still some protection you could have done. And I think you don't have to add everything together and make it look like it's very huge. And you are going global with your presentation. I'm happy to hear that, but I think...
Can he still see you, Prof?
Yes,
can
you
can see me. As an alumni.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, I think that is what Mr. Godspower or Molere should do. Please get in touch with Professor Ogunlusi so that she can put you through and then help you do what you need to do. Okay. Prof, is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
There are still 2 hands.
Yes, so Mr. Benjamin Olushola, we'll take the 2 questions together so that she can answer together. Mr. Benjamin Olushola, please unmute and quickly ask your questions. Make it snappy, please. Mr. Benjamin Olushola, are you still there? Okay. Unmute, please. Unmute and ask your question. Okay? We are listening. We can't hear anything, Mr. Benjamin. Okay, if he's having challenges, Mr. or Miss Opeyemi, I'm not sure if it's he or she. Please, can you ask your questions? Or mute and ask your questions? And please.
Yes, good evening, ma. Can you hear me, ma?
Good evening.
Yes, ma. Thank you very much for the opportunity and for organizing this beautiful program. I wanted to ask what the cost inclination might be. Is it something affordable to students? And what's the best way to reach the IPTTO channels? Is there like a mail, or we need to physically be there? Because I think the findings I did some time ago was that I think there's online filing and in-store or in-office filing. And lastly, how long does the patent filing take, like to get the certification? Because when I also checked, I saw like it might take a period of like 20 years or so, but I'm not sure about that details. Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much. Please let Mr. Benjamin Olushola so that I can take it together. Please, Mr. Olushola Benjamin, are you still there? You are unmuted, but we can't hear anything.
Or maybe we send the message.
Or you can send it on the chat. You can type it on the chat.
Can we hear me now, ma'am?
Yes, we can hear you now. Great.
Okay, so good evening once again, ma'am. Good evening once again, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So basically, my question is as regards the fact that, of course, we have our ideas and innovations. My question is now this, ma'am. Does our inventions have to be 100% perfect for the exhibition, ma'am? So that's basically my question, ma'am.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Doesn't have to be 100% perfect. You're showcasing what you have, at the stage that it is. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. That's just the answer to that. Okay, so Professor Ogunlusi.
Okay, thank you very much. So without wasting time, thank you for your question, Opeyemi. Let me say categorically that in this presentation today, I dedicated a whole slide to how you can reach us at IPTTO. You can come physically, you can go to our website and read about some of these things, some of this information that I've rolled out today. You can still get more enlightenment there. And you can as well send us an email through that website. There's an option there to make inquiry and we will receive your email. So you have all the channels, either you want to come physically or you want to send an email to us directly, or you just want to go through the website and see some things and then make your inquiry. However, when you want to make patent filing, for instance, if you are not ready to pay, it can take like 2 years. Yes, because NOTAP, we always announce that it's free of charge. But the truth is that we have tried them before, and for 2 years, we will not hear anything. So what we do now for our staff and our students is that if they are ready to pay, for those who are doing consultancy service in Abuja, you can be sure that they will do the filing, they will do the pushing. You know, it's Nigerian system. If your file is on the table like this, and there are many files, they may leave it there forever. But those agents, those consultants, they are patent lawyers. So they are IP lawyers, rather. They are attorneys. We call them IP attorneys. So they go from table to table and make sure that your work is not delayed. So if you are ready to pay, it's affordable, they will be willing to do that, and the office will help you to facilitate the process. And I can assure you, in about 5-6 months, your certificate will be out. We processed one. I processed one around May, and yesterday they sent to me 2, and they sent to me that the certificates were ready, and this is just July. So that is how it works. But if you are waiting for NOTAP announcement that it is free and then you want to do self-application, trust Nigerians, it will be there for 2 years. It doesn't take 20 years anyway.
Okay, thank you. That's the same thing with international passport.
You can ask me that. If I do self-application, they will forget.
Online self-application, it took a year before I could even get my passport. So that's our Nigerian passport. Mr. Payemi, your hand is up. Is it the former one, or you still have another question? The roundup. Mr. Payemi, is this a new question or? Okay, I think that's off. So if there are no other questions, we want to appreciate Professor Ogunlusi for taking out time out of your very busy schedule. You know you are a very busy man. Thank you so much for taking out time. Thank you for enlightening us this evening. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
More grace. As your name is Grace, more grace to you.
Yeah. Amen.
So, thank you for all that you do. So please, everyone that has one invitation, an idea, you're not even sure if there's something in this, please check, visit them at the IPPCO office. She has described where it is to every one of us. So we'll put the address on the platform.
Yes, thank you.
So we'll do that. Okay, so thank you very much for everyone that has stayed through from the beginning to the end. We really appreciate you, and we pray that as you exhibit your innovations and research works on Thursday, that we'll continue to do great things that will bring profits to both ourselves and to our country by God's grace. So have a nice evening, everyone. God bless us. She has put the website on the chat. You can do well to copy it. I'll also put it on the platform, okay? And she has described where the office is. So please, IFED, somewhere around IFED. I'll get the description and put on the platform too. So good night, everyone. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, ma'am. Well done.
Welcome.